Welcome to Land House. I'm Seth. This is the Oupes 600w pure sine wave inverter power station with included solar panel. This is a 100-watt panel. It also has wall charging and car charger as well. Let's go over the features and then start testing this out and charge it with the various charging methods. All right, let's get to it. Let me go over what all comes in this kit. First of all, you've got a booklet for the solar panel and a booklet for the power station. You've got a couple of warranty cards as well. Then there is a car charging adapter. We will probably plug that up and see how well it works. Then you've got your wall charging option right here. And then the solar panel is the other option for charging this unit. I will look at that here in just a moment outside. And then this one is the actual power station. So let's look at these features first, and then we will move from there. Let's start off with the top. There is a plastic carrying handle that you can hold the unit. Everything in orange is rubber, so you could actually push this around a little bit and not worry too much about it getting damaged, although I wouldn't recommend tossing it around. On the front, you've got your main display. Pull that off. The power button is down here. Hold it for 3 seconds, and the unit will turn on. It's got 80% charge at the moment. Up here you have two outlets, 110 volt, 600 watt. To turn that on, there's a button right here. Just push that. Little fan turns on for just a moment. And it's got an hour reading down here, which will change. So it's got 28 hours right now. Basically nothing's coming out. So you've got the top receptacle has the option for the ground, and the bottom one down here is just the 2-prong. We'll go ahead and turn that off. Over here, you've got your basic 12 volt, basically a cigarette lighter. Then you've got your two 12 volt, 10 amp barrel plugs down here. And if you want to turn that on, push this button right here. So let's see what it says for the time. 88 hours on that one. Let's turn that off. And then you've got your PD 60 watt. I always refer to it as a USB-C. Then down here you've got two USB 3 that you can turn on right here. And it's USB-A is what it's called. And the hours on that, 99 hours. Anyway, we'll actually plug a load up to this and see what those mean. All right, we can turn that off. Now on this side, there is just a cooling fan, which will turn on if the unit needs that heat dissipation. This light right here is separate from the rest of the unit, so you can just push once to turn on low, high, strobe or SOS, and then off. So that does not show up power usage on the front, I checked. This side has your input, 12 volt to 30 volt. So the solar, the car charger, or the wall plug will fit there. And there's just some open vents there to let air in or out. Okay, on the bottom, it has some of those orange rubber feet that will keep this from sliding around wherever you place it. Before we step outside, let's take a quick look at the solar panel. It's got the logo here on the front. These orange pieces are Velcro that will pull out and allow this unit to sit in the sun based on the angle you choose. And this little webbing helps prevent it from going too far or falling over. On the back side, there is a water resistant pouch with a zipper, and that will fold down to allow you to access your charging cable, and it has that barrel plug on there. One thing that I'm not too fond of is having this last leg inside of this pouch. Just because it'd be nice to keep that semi-closed whenever you're charging the unit. But anyway, because the flap here is water resistant. We'll get to using this out in the sun here in a moment. On the top, there is a carrying handle that's rubberized. And then there are some grommets up here. I assume you could hang this from a tree or some other structure. Velcro closure. In here it's got peak power 100 watts, cell efficiency 20%, power voltage 19.8, DC output 18 volts, 100 watts. Let's open this up Looks like it has a protective cover on there. It is a 4-panel, so you have to open it up like an accordion there. Looks like our size is going to be about 18-inch by about the same, I believe. And nice. It does have just a regular plastic coating on there. And each of those side panels has its own kickstand so that it supports itself well. Technical specifications out of the manual. The AC output is 100 to 120 volts AC, 600 watts power, up to 1000 watts surge or peak. Frequency is either 50 or 60 hertz. The DC volts output, the cigarette lighter, has a rated voltage of 12 volts and a rated current of 10 amps. The USB output is 5 volts 3 amps or 9 volts 2 amps, 12 volts 1.5 amp, up to 18 watts max. Here's an example of the light on the back. This is the low setting. So you can see it's decently bright. Let's go ahead and turn it to the high setting. It is a good bit brighter. You'd definitely be able to function walking around with that kind of light. And then here is the SOS. And then off. The sun is peeking in and out of the clouds today, but I think we're going to go ahead and charge this with the sun. So let's go ahead and open everything up. All 4 panels. On the back, I'm going to go ahead and open that water resistant pouch all the way. Let's turn this way so you can see stuff. I'm going to open up this water resistant pouch. I may just keep this cord wound up as it is, and then I'm going to pull out all the feet like this to lay it down. There we go. They're all facing the sun pretty good. Let's go ahead and find our charging cable back here and plug it up to the unit. Now I may be able to keep this out of the sun for the most part by plugging this up back here. Actually, let's turn it around so we can see what's going on. Yeah. Okay, plug that up and see what this display shows. The cooling fan did turn on. 75 watts. I'm gonna let this sit for a while and we'll see how long it takes to charge this up on a semi-cloudy day out today. I just discovered a little issue with the system. The solar panels are hooked up and the power fan is running here to keep this thing cool, but there's not enough power going in, which means it's dropping because the fan is on. So let's unplug that. Yeah, so we went from 80 to 75% because there wasn't enough sun on this day. So what that's telling me is that you need to have clear skies to charge this properly, or it's going to use power. So I think what we're going to do next is just hook this up to the house power, let it charge fully so we can test this unit out. All right, let's go ahead and charge this up by the wall plug. So I'm going to get the little power block plugged up, get that installed to the house plug. All right. Once again, the fan turned on, so it has to have that whenever it's charging, apparently. Display is showing 94, 95 watts coming in. Very good. So, can we use this unit while it's charging? Basically, could you run your laptop off of this as a battery backup? So let's go ahead and turn on the AC side here. Just got a LED lamp. Ah, there we go. Yep, so the light is on. It just says AC is on over here, but doesn't show an output of watts because it's currently using the same display to charge the unit. So I think what I'm gonna do is let this charge up full. Go ahead and just unplug this, and we'll see how long it takes to go from 75% to 100%. It's 12 o'clock right now. At an hour and 50 minutes, we're at 99%. So hopefully in the next 10 minutes, it will kick over to 100, and it will have taken 2 hours to go from 75 to 100. But I'll just keep watching it. I let it sit for about 4 more hours, and it never reached 100%. So the fan stayed on, and it said it had the 94 watts or so coming into the unit. So I don't know if I just didn't let it sit long enough or what, but anyway, I felt like it should have completely charged by then. Well, what we're gonna do now is do a simple test with this tablet and also my TV up here on the wall. I need to work for about 3 hours tonight. So let's plug this up. I think it's at like 7% maybe. And then the TV will also pull some power, and we'll see how it does for several hours of use. All right, I'm gonna turn the unit on. Got that. I'm gonna go ahead and plug up this USB-C. Got to push the power on button here. And the tablet did just turn on. It's at 3%, so hopefully it'll be at 100% by the time I get done working out here. And let's see, current output 4 watts. We'll see if it increases that here in just a moment. Let me go ahead and plug this up here. I'll push the power for the AC, and then let me turn on the television. The TV is on and the tablet is charging. We've got 25 watts for the output, and it indicates that it's going to run that for 14 hours. So we'll see how it looks in about 3. It's now 11 o'clock as the TV shows up here. So I worked for 2 hours. Let's see what we got. Still at 99%. So I think that the 24 watts that it is using is definitely not pulling this down very quickly. Let me go ahead and turn off the TV. See if that 24 watts drops down. Yep, dropping down pretty quick. Because this tablet is not charging very quickly. Let's see what we're at here. 53%. So yeah, I mean, I've seen them charge quicker than that, but this thing is still at 99%, so it's doing quite well. That'll get flagged. All right, so yeah, it's doing well. I guess I'm gonna unplug this and take it back in the house for now. We now know that the Oupes 600 will run a TV and charge a tablet for a very long time. What about a 200 watt work light? So let's go ahead and turn the unit on, hold the power button for 3 seconds. Okay, still at 99%. Let's go ahead and push the AC power on, and I'm gonna plug up this 200 watt LED work light. This thing is crazy bright. All right, I'm gonna turn this away here. So it's running at 195 watts at the moment, and the display says it will run this for 2.7 hours. Now I'm seeing a little bit of flickering here. I'm not exactly sure if that's because this isn't running at 100% pure sine. I don't know, but it's not too bad. Anyway, I'm gonna let this sit here and run for 195 watts for a little bit until we see this 99 drop down to something else. I found another light that should run somewhere around 30 watts, and this plug only has the 2-prong, so I should be able to run both of these at the same time. Yep, so that just came on. Let's see what our display is showing now. Let's see. Alright, we got 233 watts, 2.2 hours, and it's still running at 99%. So let me wait a little while and we'll see what this drops down to. I've given this setup 30 minutes and it's still at 99% at 2.3 hours of runtime. So I'm going to remove this 30 watt, and then we're going to go ahead and run something bigger to hopefully get this down a bit. I've got this saw, which runs somewhere around 400 watts without a load. So let's plug this up and see if we can drop this down. This may trigger the safety if we exceed the 600 watts rating here. Let's just give it a try and see what happens. All right, so 98%. We finally got to see something. Let's see if this is going to trigger the safety. Let me turn this away so you can see what's going on. All right, here we go. Yep, we got an error. All right, so that did exceed the 600 watts. Let's go ahead and unplug stuff. Let's turn the AC off. All right, it seems like it's back on there. I'm gonna go ahead and just turn everything off and restart it so we can get a better test here. Okay, well, at least we know now that when you exceed 600 watts, that's the error code. All right, so now this should be pulling somewhere around 400, possibly up to 500. So here we go. Oh, forgot to push the AC power. All right, here we go. All right, that startup must have had more watt requirements than this thing could pull, so let's push that. I've seen that saw run somewhere around 500. All right, let's try it with this light. All right, the light came back on. So this saw, which is rated at 700, but usually runs somewhere around the 400 to 500 watts, kicked that off. So this unit is not able to run that. So in the meantime, let me find another application for this inverter that will run closer to the 600 watts. I found this orbital sander that says it runs at 3 amps. So hopefully we'll get somewhere around 300 watts out of it. And that'll run this inverter somewhere around the 500 watt range. So let's see what we get when we turn this on here. So we're at 190. Well, that ran close to 400 watts, and it did bring it down to 96%. It's a crystal clear day here in late October. Let's go ahead and charge this from the 96% up to 100 using the solar panel that is included with this unit. So go ahead and open this up and face it into the sun. We have 85 watts coming in from the solar. I feel like that is pretty good. Now, it's not quite direct sun yet, but hopefully we have enough here to get this panel charged up to 100. So I'm not sure if this display will ever show 100%. So let me leave this out here in the sun all day and we'll see if this ever clicks over to 100%. It was at 99% for hours and hours. Now, something that we noticed before is that whenever it was a cloudy day, the fan was running on the unit and there wasn't enough sun to charge this. So what happens if you leave the panels hooked up all day, it reaches 100%, and then at night when the sun goes down, does the fan stay on and drain the battery? I think that's a really fun thing we can test out here, so let's do that as well. Definitely found an issue with the Oupes 600. As you can tell, it's super bright out here, but there is the shadow of a tree hitting the panels. And let me show you what's happening here. Because the fan is running, let's see if I can zoom this in far enough so you can see. It's got 87%. So that fan with the solar panels is killing the power inside of this thing. So I'm gonna move it over. Whenever the sun stops shining on that tree, I will move this over and hopefully get full sun. But basically right now, the solar panel is draining the battery out. Full sun is now hitting the panels. There should be no reason this thing is losing power. See if I can get in close enough to get the sun out of the way here. We've got, looks like 73 watts, 81%. So it's still losing power connected to the panels. I just gave this another 15 minutes of direct sunlight. Let's see what we're down to. 79%. So I think that's conclusive that the solar panels are not working. Let's go ahead and unplug that. I'm going to turn this off. And we will move on to using the car charger. I'm in the car and I have about an hour-and-a-half drive. So let's go ahead and attempt to charge this here. So I'm gonna plug this in. I've not used this cigarette lighter ever, so but I do see the light is on. And let's plug it in down here. Fan is on, 79%. There we go. Watts are starting to come in now. So there's 49. So, alright, we'll see what this gets up to here as I drive along. It's been right at an hour-and-a-half of driving. Let's see where we are here. 92%. So it never goes up to 50 watts. It's always 48 to 49. Now whenever you turn on the car, as far as the key being on, it does start and the fan kicks into, I would say, a low to medium spin here. Not as fast as whenever it's running at full watts. And after 3 hours of driving today, it is 98%. I'll take this into the house and charge it up all night to see if it ever actually turns over to 100. After charging this for 3 hours in the car at about 48 watts, I plugged it up to the house power and it charged for about 3 more hours. It got up to 99% as it did before, and it never did hit 100. So it just continued to push about 98 watts into this thing for those 3 hours, even after it was 99%. So I don't think it ever reaches 100. So my thoughts on the Oupes 600 watt power station. Don't charge with solar, it doesn't work. It just turns the fans on and drops the battery. So if you're charging with solar, it'll be dead within the day. So the car charger worked well at about 48 watts, and the wall charger seems to do just fine. The one thing I don't like about it is that if it was full, then it never did turn off the fan or the charging. So I would like to see this thing shut down once it's full. Maybe the 3 hours wasn't enough to get it full. I don't know. But as far as the AC and the DC goes, it works quite well. I ran that TV and charged the tablet and never saw it drop below 99. Whenever I used 230 watts on this, it ran it no problem. Now whenever I tried to use that saw, it definitely kicked into an error because that thing is going to hit somewhere above 700, I believe, watts when it first initially kicks on. So the light back here in the back, I actually used it to walk the kids into the house last night, and it was pretty good. Both the kids loved that. So the unit works well as far as running applications from it. The charging side of it is kind of weird, so don't go solar. The car charger works well as long as you don't need it for to be charged quickly, and then the wall plug works just fine. So if you're in a van and you have solar on the roof, then use that to charge the unit because it'd be quicker. Anyway, and that's my thoughts on the Oupes 600. If you want to check this out, I have links in the description down below, and hope to see you in the next video.